Attorney Robert Barnes is representing Ethan Wentworth of Airville and Rusty Herr of Christiana.
I've seen crazy cases. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen.
They're former dairy farmers who now operate Noble Solutions, a breeding company which helps dairy farms with reproductive management of cattle. For 2 weeks, the men have sat in prison, denied bail.
They are still as baffled today as they were the day they were suddenly jailed as to why they're there, what happened, did they do something wrong? They're still trying to figure that out. Is there some way they can fix it?
According to prison officials, Wentworth was booked into the York County prison on April 10th for a 30-day sentence on a civil charge. Herr was arrested 1 day later on a contempt of court charge and sent to Lancaster County Prison for a 30-day sentence as well. Barnes says neither were given due process.
The state of Pennsylvania had a judge sign an order of imprisonment for 2 people without ever naming them as parties to a case, without them ever being charged with any crime, without any hearing before an order of imprisonment was issued. All of which is completely illegal under Pennsylvania law and the United States Constitution.
In 2010, a complaint was filed against Herr, accusing him of unlicensed practice of veterinary medicine for performing ultrasounds on cows. The State Board of Veterinary Medicine, which heard the complaint, ruled Herr was in fact practicing without a license. He was ordered to stop and pay a fine. In 2018, a similar complaint was filed against Wentworth, and he was found to be practicing without a license too. Wentworth was also ordered to stop and pay a fine. Barnes tells us neither man paid those fines, as their previous lawyer advised them not to. In 2020, another complaint was filed, claiming both men kept practicing without a license.
So far, I've not been able to confirm that the old cases have anything to do with this.
Fox 43 has also not been able to independently confirm that. The York County District Attorney's Office tells us arrest warrants were issued by the Commonwealth Court, something we're told rarely happens, and documents related to the case are sealed. Additionally, we found no record of criminal charges filed against either man.
We demanded answers last week, and the state of Pennsylvania has refused to give those answers.
The Pennsylvania Veterinary Medical Association filed the 2018 and 2020 complaints. An association board member says he's unaware of the circumstances surrounding the men's arrests.
It took us by surprise, just like everybody else. According to the Practice Act, what they were doing is illegal. They were diagnosing a physical condition by a method or mode. Whether or not they should be in prison, I am not a judge. That is not for me to decide.
Barnes argues that claim.
These are just ordinary, everyday people. Neither one of them do anything that needs to be licensed by any agency in the state. I've talked to multiple farmers and professionals here that say this is not veterinary care.
A statement given to Fox 43 by the men's families say in part, quote, "Our families are struggling to cope without our husbands and fathers, Ethan and Rusty, who have been unlawfully imprisoned for more than 2 weeks now. We miss them terribly, and our children are traumatized by what happened."
Something's gone completely off the rails here. And we're going to try to get the train back on the rails before these men suffer anymore.
Now, there's still a lot of unanswered questions here, and we're continuing to reach out to the Department of State and Commonwealth Court to try to clarify how this all unfolded, as well as what the typical process is when potential offenses are reported to the State Veterinary Board. Alyssa Kratz, Fox 43 News.